What's up? Here we go again. Here we go again. Once again. Wow, everybody's hitting up. Okay, that's cool. This is it. Everybody is reporting Phil Jackson and LeBron James. The beef. The conflict. Let's go back to what Phil said about him having a posse. Phil don't like the way he plays basketball. And now Phil is back in the seat advising the Lakers. He gonna tell Jenny Buss what to do. Because that's still his bust down. The Zen Master. And he wants LeBron James out of town. Do I want this to be true so much? Oh, absolutely. Because he don't like LeBron. He do want him out of town. But he never said this. Listen, this is propaganda and spin. Okay? Shalom. Listen. This is all fake, people. Let that sink in right now. Fake. Fake, fake, and fake, fake, fake. Now, y'all said send him back to Cleveland. Where did this come from? The LA Times are reporting this. You got everybody talking about it on First Things First. All of these different things are coming out. Why? Because LeBron James, he wants to change the narrative about him. What's up, Mr. Bailey? No one's talking about LeBron James. So he wants the narrative to be about him and Phil. The whole thing going when they don't have a problem. Now, all this news about Phil wanting LeBron traded is to keep the interest going with the Lakers. Like, oh, the storyline is about the Lakers. When the playoffs is going on. They just tried a whole thing with LeBron just the other day. That didn't work. Kyrie Irving playing with LeBron James. Nobody was really biting on that. So now they're like, well, they're not biting on that. What we got now? Phil Jackson he don't like LeBron, and LeBron don't like Phil. Let's listen to what LeBron had to say.
A small piece of it is a big piece of it, actually. I don't have no problem with the Knicks organization. I wasn't here, so I don't know the insights and everything. I'm a fan of the game, as well. It's great when the Knicks, the Celtics, and the Lakers are great in our league all at the same time. It's best for our league. So, but I don't have I have no wrongdoing from the Knicks organization. I don't know how they, we all know how they handle the Carmelo situation, but I'm not a fan of Phil Jackson, though. I think you guys already know that. Let's the past though. He's not even here anymore.
So, because LeBron said he's not a fan of Phil Jackson, but that's in the past, though. Because he used the word posse. LeBron James travels in a posse. No, because if you go, the story is saying Phil wants to keep Westbrook and let LeBron go. Phil ain't saying none of this it. But the team would be better under Westbrook. And you got rid of LeBron. The team would probably play up 10 times better. I believe it. Because you could build around Westbrook. He ain't the problem. The problem has been LeBron. He's not playing defense. LeBron, do I agree with them getting rid of LeBron? No, I don't. Keep him in a Lakers uniform. I want LeBron on the Lakers. Oh, no, don't you get to run away and go to somewhere else. No, stay right there. You made that bed, now you got to lay in it. You ain't getting to bounce up out of there. Now you're going to stay your ass right there and eat that food. You ain't leaving the table till you eat that food. You don't get to go no place else and start all over and go mess up some more food. No, you're going to sit your butt there and you're going to eat. Or you going to starve. Which one you want, LeBron? Because come hell or high water, you going to have to stay. Phil ain't did a damn thing wrong. Why would anybody be mad at Phil? It's funny, nobody had no problems with Phil when he was with the Lakers. Nobody had no problem with Phil when he was with the Chicago Bulls. All of a sudden, once he goes to the New York Knicks and he says some comments about LeBron James, now Phil Jackson is the worst person on earth. When I told you about Phil Jackson, y'all didn't want to hear it. But if you're the Lakers, you got to keep LeBron James. From a business perspective, you can't get rid of him because you got to make your money off of him. That bum, because he was marketed so much by the NBA, they have promoted this bum all the way to the top of the thing, saying we're going to market our league off of his back. For 20 years, you got all these stupid idiots going out buying the jerseys of this guy, 23 and 6, changing the number. They're selling marketing dollars off of LeBron's back with the Laker uniform on. They're doing that on purpose. They're raking in tickets. People buying it. It's still idiots believe he's the best player in the world. You're not going to trade him when he's that close to breaking Kareem's record. LeBron ain't going nowhere. He's going to break Kareem's record in a Lakers jersey. And then they're going to have the big ceremony where Kareem is there, even though he don't like the bastard. Kareem got to be there anyway because he's getting a check from the Lakers. They already got it set up for the event. Don't you realize this is a show of entertainment and bullshit? This is what they do. Meanwhile, Gilbert Arenas, for the past hour, has been blowing up my DMs all about law and court and all his victories and how he finna sue Kwame and all this craziness. And I'm here educating him on internet law and everything else. Like, you're gonna lose, you're gonna lose. He's all right, you get me fired up. I'm gonna win. I'm like, you're gonna lose. Waste your money if you want, but you're gonna lose. Yeah, well, here's the problem with Phil. Phil became arrogant. He started believing the teams were winning because of him. that was the key to Phil Jackson. He's like, because of me, we're winning. And he let that go to his head. And he thought he was bigger than life. And they started promoting the Zen Master. So when they put Phil over with the Lakers, they immediately start winning championships because the NBA needed that. They need to have that old Bulls. He's taking the Bulls philosophy and he's giving it to the Lakers. And that's what got him over the hump. No, the league and the refs, y'all got them over the hump because y'all needed a face. Because Shaq damn well was not what he was printed out to be the biggest man on the court and can't dominate. Now, he said Melo wasn't a championship type player. Here's the thing about Carmelo. Carmelo wasn't at that time what you would call a franchise player. Building a team around Carmelo Anthony being the star, it's a bad idea. Carmelo was picked to be the opposite of LeBron. They were supposed to rival each other. The Melo LeBron feud, in which there wasn't a feud, but they're rivaling these two together. They came in the league. They just cut Dwayne Wade out of the picture entirely. He was better than both of them coming into the league. And more seasoned, older, more mature to the game. Of course, LeBron was going to get Rookie of the Year, even though Dwayne Wade was right there for Rookie of the Year. And then they gave it to him when LeBron was really third. Carmelo Anthony outplayed LeBron his rookie year. Dwayne Wade outplayed LeBron his rookie year. But you knew they were going to give it to LeBron. Come on. It's LeBron. Now, everybody's upset about what Phil said about LeBron James before, saying LeBron James What did he compare him to? Xbox. He's an Xbox player. He's a one-on-one Xbox player. We know what you was trying to say, Phil. He was an arcade basketball player, and that is exactly what I've been saying about him forever, Phil. He's an NBA 2K player, just a one-on-one basketball guy. That's it. He cannot play systemized basketball. That's what Phil Jackson was trying to say, and they made him a villain because of it. And this is when he was in Miami. And ever since then, Mr. Thin-Skinned himself, LeBron James, has never gotten over it. Phil never said any of this. I heard Phil Jackson wants LeBron James gone. They're already setting up a war between Phil and LeBron. This is LeBron's people putting this out.
Los Angeles, you know that the guy who's been a longtime columnist is none other than Bill Plaschke, right? You open up the LA Times, you look at the left side, and there's Bill Plaschke, who has seen it all, done it all, and talked to them all. And he had an exclusive sit down with Jeannie Buss. Jeannie Buss, of course, taking over for her late father to run the actually took over for her brother, who took over for her late father to run the LA Lakers. And instead of like reading the conversation, we just reached out to Bill, and he kind of to spend some time with us here on the Dugout Show. Bill, what was? I've read the piece, but what was Jeannie like in terms of? She seems like a very fun, delightful person, and I know she wants to make this work. What was her vibe like?
Yeah, that's a great question. She's very fun. I mean, she's very nice and very accommodating.
So Bill Plaschke basically was saying, and what they basically was trying to get to is the fact that you're looking at a point where Phil Jackson, who's always been given the halo, even in New York, Phil is not a general manager. Phil didn't win because of Phil. The triangle isn't Phil's. The triangle offense belonged to the late, great Tex winners. Tex designed that. Tex designed the double X that the Detroit Pistons used throughout their system when they won their championships. The bad boy Pistons. We ran the double X a lot. Now, what people don't realize is that he was a mastermind of designing basketball plays, Tex. But you're looking at the talent that was on the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls won because of expansion drafts. All of this is tapping into my video when I exposed the Chicago Bulls for being the frauds that they are in the 1990s. So I'm going to tap into a little bit of it right now, because that's going to be on the Patreon, and that's going to shock a lot of people. We educated a lot of people on Black history that they knew nothing about. Some photos has never been seen before in life until you saw it the first time yesterday on the Patreon, a lot of you. Thank you for all you guys who spent time watching that yesterday. Oh, yeah, I'm finna go fire some guns. See, I got guns here. Guns of the Navarone. And you think some fat, drunk alcoholic is going to beat me in a fight? Who can barely get out the chair? I'll pop that boy one time. He going to be like drooling. You think he's slurring now? Oh, yeah, whoop you, Carcino. I hit that boy 3 times before he even knew a punch was coming. No, his reflexes are slow. Right. And I'm like, who listens to this goofy? Everything he say be a lie. And they just run right along with it. I'm like, why would you do that? You know it's a lie. So anyway, Bill Plansky is the one that spread this lie, which means that they're pushing the narrative for LeBron to be gone after this year. After this year, LeBron can go anywhere he want to go because he still has the option, rather the Lakers do, to sign him or re-sign him, or he can become a free agent, whatever. This is last year under contract with the Lakers. So this is the year he should go ahead and break the record. That's why he was trying to score all those points, because this is the year you get to do it in a Laker uniform, past Kareem. So if he's going to do another 1-year deal or whatever somewhere else to go play with Brownie, they don't give a damn what they do. Lakers ain't tied to keeping LeBron James, especially if they're not getting to the playoffs. Because that's what I told you. That's where the Lakers make their money. That's money time. Right. You got people who weren't even born when the Bulls won all 6 of their championships are running around town swearing to God Michael Jordan was the greatest and the Bulls were the greatest. They weren't even alive. They weren't even alive when Jordan won his 6. They weren't even alive when he played. Jordan was retired when they were born. And they still saying Michael Jordan and the Bulls are the greatest team ever. You will not hear anything else because that is what they brainwashed you to believe. But that team was so beatable. I'm going to tell you right now, Michael Jordan, Phil Jackson inherited a team that had already went as far as it ever gotten in its team's history under Doug Collins. If Doug was the head coach, they would have won a championship anyway. It was inevitable. It was going to happen. It was in the cards. No. Of course you did. But what killed them, and this is what I'm going to go and tap into, the Bulls won because of expansion. Okay? They brought in the Charlotte Hornets, the Miami Heat, the Orlando Magic, Toronto, Vancouver Grizzlies, the Minnesota Timberwolves. All of those were brought in like rapid pace. They expanded way too fast, too quick. Yes, but what you're doing is you're breaking up the continuity of teams. Players usually stayed on teams 5, 6, 7 years. See, it kept the Bulls together. Their nucleus wasn't touched. The NBA was breaking up all championship teams like the Pistons. The Pistons were winning the expansion draft. They took Rick Mahorn away from us quick. Hell, he didn't, right before the celebration, he's found out he's going to be on another team. It split up all of these teams that were unified. The Bulls was like one of the only teams that still had their nucleus in place. They had Cartwright, Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, Michael Jordan. They still had their nucleus. Everyone else was broken up due to free agency and expansions. So now teams are just a gumbo pot of all these new players that, yeah, they could play, but they haven't really gelled together yet. They haven't really played with these guys. Everybody's style doesn't match up. So now the Bulls are just whooping on these guys because they all know how they play. So they're going through the league beating these teams. It's only about 2 teams besides the Utah Jazz, which they really modified their team. They're the only team in there in the East. Everybody was changed. The New York Knicks had changed completely. They didn't went from Mark Jackson, Derek Harper. They kept switching point guards. They couldn't find a point guard. So that's how Phil lucked up and got the job. He backstabbed Doug in the back and got the job. Doug would probably choke Phil right now if he saw him. But anyway, Doug had 4 things set up that he wanted to do. He moved Michael Jordan to point guard, which opened up the whole Bulls to going as further as they ever did in the playoffs. Took the Pistons to 6 games. Michael Jordan was almost averaging a triple-double in the season, playing at point. Because now he could see the court better. Because he's at the top of the key getting the ball. So it's harder for them to trap Michael Jordan when he already has the ball. You send another guy at him, you're opening up the floor so he could see everything better. This was Doug Collins' strategy. So in 1989, he played the point. When the season was over, Mike went to his office and told Doug, I don't want to play point no more. It's too much of a headache. I'm too exhausted doing all that, trying to distribute and do all that from the top of the key and come to the ball. I'm not playing point next season. So he's like, all right, you don't want to play, you don't want to play. Then 2 weeks later, he was fired. And Phil took his job. True story. Now, Phil took the job, and they lost with Phil, but they went 7 games with the Pistons. Had they lost in 91, the team was going to start making some dramatic changes. Had they not won it in 91 and got past the Pistons at least, if they'd have lost that series to the Pistons, which was put in them for them to beat the Pistons and everything, they wanted it to be the Pistons. Even though the Pistons weren't even a team that should have even been in the Eastern Conference Finals, the NBA cheated and put them in it. We weren't even supposed to beat the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks, we went 5 games with them. Everybody's broke down, injured. They carried us past Atlanta, carried us past Boston, and threw us smack dab and fed us right to the Bulls. They wanted the Bulls to be able to get rid of us. So it was terrible. And we were still better than them in 91. Still better than them in 1991. Just that when we played them in the playoffs, everybody was hurt. Everybody's hurt. Joe Dumars got a hamstring pull. Isaiah's coming back from scaphoid injury on his shooting hand. Lambeer's hurt. We were through. We were done. Our nucleus was done. And we still had to get cheated out of the series. That shows you how much unready they was for the moment. And to make sure that the Bulls was to win, they wanted to have that Magic Jordan in the finals. They cheated the Portland Trailblazers in the Western Conference Finals, who was the best team in the NBA. Wasn't the Bulls. It was Portland. That just went to the finals against the Pistons the year before. This year, the Portland Trailblazers, the best team in all of basketball. They lose to Magic Johnson and the Los Angeles Lakers in the Western Conference Finals in the biggest corruption anybody has ever seen in life. That team, no way, shape, or form, beat the doggone Portland Trailblazers. That was a ripoff of all proportion. If nobody here really seen, or they never really talk about that, you just know that the Lakers made it to the finals to play the Bulls. Lakers had no business being there. The NBA carried them all the way there. That team was old, done, had no business being in the NBA finals. They wanted Michael versus Magic in the finals. And they made money off of it. Now, we're going down the wrong road. That's going to be on the Patreon video when we go and expose the lie that they've told you that is the Chicago Bulls and how fraudulent those 6 championships are. So that's going down on the Patreon. And that's going to be explosive. Because that's the most fraudulent team in the history of sports is those 6 championships that they got. All 6 of those championships don't act equal to one of the championships that the Detroit Pistons got. Not one. Now, I sound like I'm telling the truth. So if you say I'm hating, that means I'm doing my job, telling you the truth. Because you can't get it. You don't understand it. Now, let's get to this. Phil now leaves the Chicago Bulls because they were even tired of him. The Bulls are like, he's too arrogant. Jerry Krause, he's way too arrogant for me to deal with. So he goes all the way to the Lakers after taking some time off. They tried to get him to come back. Reinsdorf went and said, all right, why don't you just come back for one more year and we'll just try to see if we'll go year by year basis. He didn't want to coach no more. But he kept lying to Michael Jordan saying, well, the ownership, they wanted me out. So Jordan still want to go for it. Like, let's go for the record. Let's see how many we can get, to somebody beat us. And Phil is like, we're not going to win another season. Then it's dealing with Dennis, keeping Dennis under control, all of this again. Nobody really wanted to keep that. Michael wasn't in shape. He was going to be out anyway. It's a short season because of the strike. But Michael Jordan would have been out some months because he got his finger was cut to the tendon. So now he can only bend the finger like this. So Michael Jordan's finger's messed up. It was just over. The run was over. Now, he's with the Lakers. Soon as he comes in, he's dealing with a Shaq and Kobe problem. From the moment he come there, in the first meeting when Shaq is there, and they were saying, okay, everybody express to me, I'm going to get to know everybody. Like, what's the problem here? And Shaq gets up, we will never win because of him, and points to Kobe Bryant. Because he's mad, ownership decided to get rid of the person he wanted there, which was Eddie Jones. Eddie Jones is in Miami. And that pissed off Shaq because he felt we should have kept Eddie Jones. Kobe Bryant is the problem. And Shaq and Kobe never got along because of this. He never really embraced Kobe as his teammate to be until Phil was like, okay, well, let me work with him and see what happens. And he started working with Phil and things was great early on. The problem with Phil is he thought it was him. He brought in his team and he said, well, Phil's a good man because he brought Craig Hodges on. Lie. That is a lie. And we're going to go into that too, but that is a lie. Tex Winters got Craig Hodges a job in the NBA. Brought him back in when the NBA had basically blacklisted him. He brought him in as an assistant. So y'all don't even know is that Craig Hodges won NBA championships with the Los Angeles Lakers. As an assistant. Because Tex said, I can't be the one going around doing this. If you want to bring a guy on, we need Craig. Craig knows the triangle better than you, Phil. He knows everything. He knows all the play. He knows it better than you, this offense. Like, he knows how it runs, how it moves. Tex is like, look, we need to bring in Craig. Oh, I'm not coming back. Because Phil knows, he barely knows the triangle to teach it the right way. Tex is the guy to do it. That's why he went and got Tex. And Tex is like, I'm not coming back to do this work, Phil, unless I got Craig Hodges with me. Because I'm old. I can't be getting up, watching, observe. Craig does that. Craig can do it. He know the whole thing. So Phil had to bring Craig Hodges in, or Tex wasn't coming back. And you know how I know? Because I talked to Craig Hodges. Facts. Oh, thank you guys too for my Cash App donation. Yes, you can hit the like button. The like button is free. The Cash App is Carcino, Karceno. I forgot to put that in here because we got on a roll. Let me put that in here. After they won that first championship, when they cheated the Portland Trail Blazers in Game 7, and Scottie Pippen, who thought he was going to come and play for the Los Angeles Lakers after his run with Portland, no, that wasn't going to happen. So he came over to the Portland Trail Blazers, did his little run there or whatever, and they fizzed out because they couldn't manage their temper, their attitudes, or whatever. They didn't want them anyway. They were meant to be the villains to the Lakers. The Lakers go back to the finals. They play the Pacers. They beat the Indiana Pacers, win a championship, and now Phil is back to arrogant Phil. Now he's the Zen master. The Lakers started running the table next year. Nobody's better than the Lakers. They win every game in the playoffs that second year until they run into Iverson. So they only lost one game in the entire playoffs. They win the second championship, right? Now the dynamic is changing. The third season comes around. As this season comes around, it's the biggest headache Phil Jackson ever had to endure. Because now, while they're going for the third championship, Shaq is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Because in the offseason, he's doing a movie. He's, hanging out with celebrities. He's eating like crazy. And he gets overweight and out of shape. Kobe now feels 2 championships in, I'm not the sidekick. I'm the equal. So I got to get treated as such. This is Mike and Scotty situation. I'm up there on that level. I'm not the little peon no more. And you the vet. I'm a vet too now. Now you got to give me that respect. And Shaq was missing games. Kobe had to step it up. So this is the season where Kobe was becoming more and more of his own, that guy they would even trust to go into in situations. And even Shaq trusted Kobe in situations. But the offense was designed for Shaq. Like all these plays that they ran was Shaq dominant. Get the ball to the low post, get it down to Shaq, let Shaq eat, let him do his thing. Twism. That means the world is mine. So then he goes from Twism. He has the big Shaq Superman emblem on his car. And DC said, if he wants to promote Superman, let him. Shaquille O'Neal want to do that for free? Let him. They was like, man, DC gonna sue you for the Superman imprint. You stealing the Superman logo from them. So DC was like, we sitting here trying to figure out how to make a Superman movie. We might cast his ass as Superman right now. Let Shaq rep any damn thing of Superman he want to for free. This is free promotion. Then Phil's arrogance. He's starting to talk more, even about the Sacramento Kings. He's talking trash about them. You know, it's like, what? Phil is talking trash and he's doing interviews, and him and his relationship with Jenny is so public now, and it's all this nonsense going on. And man, if I'm Jenny's new boyfriend, I'm like, hey, look, I don't think I'm cool with your boyfriend, your ex coming in here and starting making suggestions to you. It's only for basketball, yeah. And then next thing you know, my bags is outside the door and Phil's sleeping on the couch. He in the bed and I'm on the couch. What the hell going on around here? Mm-mm. He played against Reggie Miller and Jason Kidd and Allen Iverson. See, you got to remember, Reggie was first, then it was Iverson, then it was Jason Kidd. That's how they won the third championship. After they won 3 in a row, Kobe wasn't even happy. He was in the most miserable state. He was fighting with his parents. It was a whole big melee going on. And all of this was just ripping at him because his family really wasn't there for this whole celebration. Then all hell breaks loose. They win 3 championships in a row. Going into the playoffs next year, it's all this infighting. Shaq's not 100%. Kobe got to step up. Shaq's toe injury. He going to miss 2-3 weeks because he's out of shape. And he using the season to get in shape. Kobe's more vocal. Phil's just letting it go because he's like, look, he the star. You let Shaq have his way. Kobe's like, that's bull. I'm the star too. And the rest of the team, they feel like I feel. So Kobe's causing division because it's like, look, we're going to have to make a move with Kobe. And the Lakers is like, are you stupid? We do not get rid of Kobe Bryant. No way, shape, or form to go with the aging old player, Shaquille O'Neal, who's becoming more of a problem because he's breaking down because he's out of shape. Well, yeah, well, it is what it is. Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the page. Yeah, you always get idiots. Everybody was giving Shaq problems. Shaq is the most overrated player in probably the history next to LeBron James. I like Shaq's personality. His personality is great. Is about basketball playing? No. He didn't have any moves. What was his move? Dunk the ball. He was an unstoppable force. How? He was in the league since 92. When was he unstoppable? They seemed to stop him pretty good in 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. He was pretty damn stoppable. When was he going to become unstoppable? When ain't nobody else around? Ain't no centers in the league no more. Now he going against Chris Dudley. Ooh, yeah, ooh. I'm gonna be like, dog, ain't no centers in no more. Elijah won. Everybody gone. Patrick Ewing schooled him. David Robinson schooled him. Everybody then schooled him. Took him to school. They all had moves. They had left-hand hooks. They had fadeaway jump shots. They had moves in the post like a king. Pat to get him up there, hit him with the jump shot, the hook. They all had moves. He couldn't deal with Rick Smits. Rick Smits was killing him. He going up against who? Brian Grant in Miami. Alonzo Mourning was his only challenge, and Alonzo was more a power forward than he was a center. Big Country killed Shaq every time they played, and Shaq just recently admitted it. You know, one player that always used to get me that I never could get? Big Country. Big Country used to get me. So Phil is arrogant. So let's not get that like misconstrued right here. Phil Jackson is one of the most arrogant people we know. But after all of what I just told you about the Bulls and the Lakers, only thing we skipped out and didn't tell you is Phil didn't pick no damn body. He's not a general manager. He wants the power. This is what he wanted in Chicago. He wanted Jerry Krause's permission to have some authority on who they pick. And they told him, man, get the hell up out of here, dog. You a coach. You ain't picking no personnel around here. Jerry does that, not you. So he got mad because Pat Riley got it. Why he can't get it? Pat Riley couldn't get that in New York with the Knicks. He said, oh, I can't get that? Miami promised me a deal where I get to pick my own people. They don't give a damn who I pick. They said, you get to be coach and general manager. I want that. Knicks wouldn't give up that position. That's why he went. Phil wanted that. Same right. He want to pick his personnel. And with the Lakers, they gave him he had some insight, but he really didn't do that. That was Jerry West's team he was playing with. Jerry West picked that team. So when he went to the Knicks and he said, well, the Knicks wanted him to be the head coach, he said, no. But I tell you what I do. I'll bring in somebody who I've trained, who knows everything I know. I'll be the GM. I want to be the GM. I have somebody coach for me. I'll bring in Derek. Derek Long Stroke Fisher. Derek Fisher came out here like, all right, where the hoes at? I mean, where the players at? Y'all bring your girlfriends, your wives, your significant other. Ooh, that's you, Tim Hardaway Jr.? Yeah, I see you doing big things. Yeah, I'll put you on the bench tonight. Because this is my show. I'll run this. Is she watching? Yeah, she see I'm in control. Yeah. That's right. I'm the coach. What I say go. Starting from here on out. Derek Long Stroke Fisher. And that was the problem in Phil's plan. He had Derek Long Stroke Fisher there. I'm telling you, we still ain't done covering Derek Long Stroke Fisher. Now, that's coming later on the Patreon. Yeah, he was the Fisher King. You see that fish, baby? Gotta throw that rod. Now, Derek Long Stroke Fisher is coaching the team, and they're running the triangle, screwing up the whole offense of what was designing and what was actually working on the Knicks. Now you've hindered Carmelo's game because his game is not built around that. Now you've taken the ball out of his hands on the post. You got guys standing around. You've just colluded everything they was working on that worked. They were just learning guys and learning where guys like to get the ball and everything else and a fluent offense. Now you turned everybody into positional players who are not accustomed to this. Now you've got them learning from scratch and you're hindering all the success they've had in the previous year of knowing where guys were and guys who was getting the ball and everything else. The Knicks had a chance to really do something big. Having Amon Sherpert and J.R. Spliff on the team when they were young, those two defensively were great. LeBron saw that and said, I'm going to steal them from the Knicks, bring them over here to Cleveland. Yep, because they play defense. So that's why he brought them over there, because they were D'ing his butt up. And those two, they both get high together and everything else, sharing a blunt and all that, but they go out there and play defense like junkyard dogs. And they knew how each other played off each other. So when they come in with this triangles crap, he screwed up the team. He completely screwed up the entire team. Phil Jackson did, and all his general manager's move, the only thing he really did that stood out was he drafted Porzingis. See how that worked out for him. Porzingis wanted to choke him. They didn't want to be there at all. So this guy screwed up the whole Knicks organization, put them in the worst state they had ever been in, and then Phil was let go. It was a debacle. It was like, Phil, you've totally screwed us. You don't know what the hell you're doing. You're giving away all our picks to get old veteran players. You are lost. And you keep trying to find a way to get out of it with a quick fix, and it ain't working. It's just getting worse and worse. And everybody's blaming Dolan. And Phil's like, damn, I was supposed to take the heat off you. I'm dumping it all the way on you. He's like, yeah, you are. And you got a head coach that keeps banging every chick on the team that's hanging around the players. Now the players want to punch the coach. They're emotional shambles. What's going on here? I don't know, man. Get your coach under control. He's supposed to be the guy implementing things. He's down there screwing it up. So they had to let Long Stroke go because that just couldn't happen no more. He was hitting too many guys' chicks. So Long Stroke was out of there. He said Brown missed 20 layups this season. Talking about Brown. He trying to say LeBron missed 20 layups this season. Y'all want to blame? Y'all want to blame Westbrook? But see, that was the whole point of this. See, the whole point was the fact we're supposed to care about this and ignore all the other signs that we see here. If you look on this side and you see the tables, and then you go over here and say, okay, that's the way it's supposed to be. No. Phil Jackson is the main reason why this stuff is not clicking. He was the main guy in charge. But then you turn all of that away, you turn it all around, and what you're getting is what you see right here. This is the layout. Phil Jackson. He's making another decision that makes no sense for anybody in the game. Now, Jimmy Butler was playing karaoke with somebody, with the Cats girl. She was like, I'm doing karaoke with Jimmy. With Jimmy? It was, in the summer's rain. I love Jimmy. You see, you just want to play 2K all day. Jimmy wants to go out in the world and do stuff that I like. And Jimmy like, yeah, I'm going to show you. I'm going to take this cat from the cat. Why did the dog chase the cat? Nothing but the dog and me. Then he come to practice. When they try to kick him off the team, he come to practice, show up late, get there, bust their ass and leave. Him and Wiggins. Look at that. Y'all both sorry. Boom. Boom. It was beautiful. And what Jimmy do? He made them better players. That butt whipping he gave them on that court in practice, that made the cat turn into a beast. Cat kicked that woman to the curb, got him a sister. Now he rolling. Still doing dumb stuff like trying to shoot threes from half court, but at least he got there this year. Cat talking crap on the court now. Like, yeah, it's on. I'm like, go ahead, Cat. Talk your trash. And Wiggins has accepted the fact that he is a role player, not a franchise player, a role player, and he's okay with that role. And now, look, everybody's in their position. That's right. He was kitty cat at the time. He took his real kitty cat and called him the kitty cat. I just showed you, it just taught you the oldest lesson in the game. Never trust no other man with your woman. Come on, baby, let's go karaoke. Oh, man. What made it awful is they got back together. And it only was going to break up again. They had bought a dog together already. I'm like, man, you done bought a dog with this woman. She really moving in on you, boy. He said LeBron is going to get Phil Jackson fired wherever he works. He can't fire, man. He's an advisor to Jenny Buss, so ain't nothing LeBron can do there. He has no pull but to do stuff like this. Make this whole fake topic up. Get Bill Plaskey out here to say this.
Confirm what we all been saying, that Magic Johnson's back in the mix. And Phil Jackson's back in the mix. And she's taking advice from everyone. So I think my takeaway basically is that Rob Pelinka's on a short leash. They got to get a good coach. They got to figure out Russell Westbrook. They got to make LeBron happy. They got to fix this, or else. And people say, well, she's so nice, there's not going to be an or else. But remember, she fired her brother. So she can be cutthroat when she has to be. And I think she's given him 1 year to get it right.
You got 1 year to get it right, Bron, or you out of town. Damn, Bron, they talking about kicking you to the curb. They like, I'll be like, if y'all kick LeBron to the curb, can I please be there for the kick party? I will buy my ticket. I will fly out there so I can administer my kicks of kicking him out of town. I will be home, kicking LeBron. All right. I done did my kicks. I done got him up out of town. I get me back to the airport. But this is what the Lakers deserve. This is what they deserve. The Los Angeles Lakers deserve this. Because it's disrespectful to Kobe Bryant to have that player in a Lakers uniform. That guy was never a Laker. He was a faker the whole time. He has brought ruin to the Los Angeles Lakers. The same thing I told you he was going to do the day he went there. I said LeBron is going to run this franchise into the ground. This was the worst Laker season in history. They have the fourth highest luxury tax team in there. The other three were in the playoffs. The Lakers make their money on playoff games. Celebrities showing up. And if celebrities aren't showing up, they're going someplace else. Where are they going? Those celebrities are packing their bags and they're going to another place. They're not sticking around. They want to go to the playoffs. They want to come out. You know where they're going? Golden State. They're going to see Steph Curry put on a show. All the Lakers' money is going to Golden State. All this money they're missing out on right now. All these home games they're missing out on. That's what Jenny cares about. Home games. They want to have those top seeds because that's more seats. That's more home games. That's more celebrities in the seats. That's more of Jenny Buss being Jenny Buss, doing what she do best. Events, after parties, hangouts. Ain't none of that going on no more when the Lakers ain't got no action. They the coldest thing in town. Now all that business go to San Francisco. That's why the Warriors moved from Oakland, San Francisco. You get more celebrities showing up. Some celebrities don't like going to Oakland. That was the whole thing for the stadium, too. In case the people didn't really know. That's the gist of it. That's why they made this big luxurious stadium in San Francisco and they left the Bay. That's the truth. And anybody gonna tell you that, but that's the truth. Celebrities like San Fran. Them rich white celebrities, they love San Fran. It's safe. So they think. Plus, that's Boys Town. And you know they GM. I'm just saying. He's got a shorter commute, don't he? It's fun to stay at the... LeBron in Detroit, they'll beat him up in the locker room. I mean, LeBron was beat up by beef still in the locker room. You think I won't go forget that? Get your hands off me. Get your hands off me. Man, that thing had me rolling. They screwed the Pistons every game after that. We couldn't get damn the game. We wasn't going to get a call. Nothing.
So, question. I got a chance to read your book. Avid fan. We know, I was in LA when from the time you arrived, you're the Zen master, known for so many profound sayings. But this just recently, you said something about LeBron and the posse, and it went left. If you could take back what you said, would you? One, and then secondly, what would you have said differently?
Well, that's a topic I'm not going to discuss because one, we're not supposed to discuss other teams' players in this position that I have here.
Okay.
And so I violated one of the tenets of our thing. And the obvious thing is that the word itself carries connotation, and I just don't understand that part of it, the word. So, I guess word choice could be something I could regret, but I'm talking about other teams' players that's out of the box.
Well, LeBron did say today that when he comes to New York, he wouldn't necessarily want to talk to you. Is that something that you think you would want to do? Would you want to just have a face-to-face moment, an apology possibly, or is that just something that's water under the bridge and you're moving on?
No, it's water under the bridge. I don't think there's anybody hurt or harmed in this situation. I think, LeBron's, friend obviously had an issue with it. So we just let it go.
Okay.
It's not enough to talk about.
So, now everybody wants Phil gone when Phil ain't even got a title. Phil Jackson gotta go. Phil Jackson gotta go. Go from where? He doesn't have a title. He has no job there whatsoever. So fired from what? Advising Jenny? Yeah, saying he's in favor of Westbrook over LeBron. Phil ain't said a damn word to any of them about that. That's LeBron's people. That's his PR team. They're doing this to make Phil look ridiculous. Mm-hmm. I'm with that. I can see that happening. Phil is not the architect. Tex Winter was the architect. Phil was the guy that can go ahead and emulate what someone else has done. He's not a creator of anything. He doesn't have any creativity. Well, down the stretch, Doug plays was all for Michael. And many a nights, all that triangle crap that they try to teach you about, like I said again, on the Carsino for Life Patreon, you are not going to want to miss this. We're going to break down the 6 championships of the Chicago Bulls and how fraudulent they are. And you're going to learn some more about Derek Longstroke Fisher. Look like I'm smoking hookah through a straw. I will review Winning Time. Kind of letting everybody take the week to go through it. My man, the hit is back on. Hold on, the Lakers. Yeah, talk to the team. They ain't with it. They ain't about letting me come back for the last game in the finals and to count them down. All right, thanks. They ain't with it. All right, cool. The hit is back on. Man, that dude Wood Harris, man, he is great. in every role he's ever been in. Mm-hmm. Well, Texas T, if you would only knew how many people are in that situation, then they would understand. They understand what they get for the 25. I got one video that's worth about $1 million, if not more. Yep, I'm gonna bounce. I gotta get ready to get some stuff done around here. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm gonna holler at y'all later.